Welcome back to the Life Changes Channel podcast. I'm your host, Dina Court. Thank you for being here today. We have a special episode for you in the Hope and Health series. Now, we welcome Madge Osman and Leah Tabitha. Now, these two ladies do so much to support families that are leaving domestic violence and abuse, and they are there to really support people. And we're going to hear more about how that works, what they do, and some stories that they share of the success that some of their clients have had, and just the amazing transformations that can happen for people when they have these types of supports in place. Now, if you are someone who is concerned about someone you care about, you would like to be able to support them, there is help for you as well. It is very difficult to watch someone that is in a place that might not be safe. And as their support person, you also have some struggles and concerns for your own health, your own well being, and they can help you in that area too. So please listen in and please share this with anyone that you think would find it very helpful and informative. Now, we offer many different ways for you to find these resources. There's links in the show notes. There are other episodes in the Hope and Health series. We host an online support group called Hope and Health. There are links on our website. You can access these resources. We also have a quiz on our homepage that's called Is This Abuse? Because sadly, many people are stuck in these situations. They've become so used to it, or it's happened gradually, or it's something that they've grown up in and that they feel is normal, and they don't realize sometimes until they really dig in and admit to themselves that they don't feel safe, that even though it isn't physical, it's very destructive to their health, their mental well being, and their physical health. It's manifested in those ways too. So, we really do want to help you get to a healthy place and a safe place, or support someone that you are concerned about, that you care about. We have online support groups I mentioned earlier. You can find those on our events page. Please don't feel alone. Don't feel ashamed. Don't feel embarrassed if you are in situations like this. Many of us have been. There is no judgment here. We really are compassionate and we really do care to help you. So let's get into the conversation with Leah and Madge today and learn more about what is available to help you or someone you care about. This is going to be a fun episode about a dark topic because we are going to bring hope and encouragement to anyone who's dealing with or is concerned about someone that is, they don't always know that they're experiencing abuse. That's why I'm kind of hesitating here. Domestic violence, abuse is very prevalent, it's an epidemic. And we are working to bring more awareness. We are working to help people on the front lines and really support and make a difference and help them heal as well. And what we want to talk about today is some of the success stories, the services that are out there, the hope that is available for people, and some of the ladies that are working very diligently to support women and families that are um, coming out of violence and rebuilding their lives are joining me today. So Madge Osman and Leah Tabitha are just phenomenal. And we will have more of the team on another episode, and just build out and show you who's there to help you. Madge, do you want to start by briefly telling us what you have built and why?
I'd be more than happy to. So we are going on to our fifth year, and our organization is called Women on Wings Society. I started this nonprofit 5 years ago in memory of my mom, and anybody who knows me knows how much passion I have for what we're doing and how this has become my baby. I feel like there's just so much going on out there right now in terms, and has been for a long time, in terms of domestic abuse. And I wanted to make sure that we can start giving these women voices. I want to make sure that we can allow them to be seen and heard. And I think that's where a lot of us crave that, because it's in that it gives them that safe space to come forward with their stories, or realize that they actually can reach out for help, and not feel ashamed, or feel like maybe I'm creating, they don't actually realize they're in an abusive relationship, or that it's not just physical abuse that constitutes domestic abuse. There's the financial abuse, coercive control, the emotional and the mental abuse, that we don't label it as domestic abuse unless it's physical. So, coming coming from an abusive marriage that I left 16 years ago with 4 children, if I had known what resources were out there at the time that I left my marriage, I don't know where I would be right now, but I am here right now to be that advocate for these women. And so much has happened in the last 5 years. I never would have thought we would be here in 5 years. And it makes my heart full knowing that we have seen such amazing, amazing success stories. But I want to add that leaving the abusive relationship, that's just a stepping stone to the beginning of a story that they can start creating for themselves, in the sense of there is hope. You have your series Hope in Hell, um, that these women can create a future for themselves that's bright, that's filled with love for themselves, the ripple effect that it has on their children, that we can try and start teaching our children what a healthy relationship is, and stop these generational cycles and traumas that continue to recreate themselves. If these women do not get the proper assistance and help, we're going to continue to see this grow. But we don't want to see the abuse grow. We want to see the healing grow. So our collaboration with Leah, who is a trauma release therapist, has been absolutely instrumental in our nonprofit. And I have to say, I want to say that I am one of those success stories. When I met Leah, it was 3 years ago, and I believe everything happens at the right time. It's all divine timing. And when I started to understand what she did in terms of her therapy, and it's very unique because everybody's therapy is different. It's not your typical talk therapy. But I thought I can't ask my clients to do this work until I do the work, until I have an understanding of what she does and how that would play into my life. So I started doing sessions with Leah myself, and I can tell you that my success story has completely shifted how I live my life, how I catch myself in those moments where I'm triggered, or I have something that's creeping up, that I'm going to stop myself and be like, no, this is not my story anymore. So it's been absolutely life-changing for me. And when we see the results that we have seen with our clients that have worked with Leah, it's been absolutely phenomenal. It's been life-changing for them. I don't just connect with my clients and say, okay, well, here are the resources, and I don't follow up. We have a very personal connection with our clients. I will text and call all our clients and make sure they're doing okay, if they need anything. And one of the things that they always say after they've worked with Leah is, she has changed my life.
Mm.
And that's what we want to see, because when these women start healing that trauma, energetically, it starts to shift, which then shifts the whole household energy, which means their children are now starting to see that shift in energy and also feel the effects of that. So when these women come into, when they're referred to us, I think one of the biggest things that I see is the lack of love for themselves,
Mm.
the lack of self-worth and confidence, the lack of direction. And so in order for them to start moving forward, we want to gift them with that fact, the knowing that they are worthy. And in order for you to move forward, is that's to learn to love yourself fully and wholly, that you are worthy, and that when you can start loving yourself that way and start receiving, then you're able to start giving back. And that is, to me, the biggest thing is to make sure that we are teaching our children, boys, girls, because we want to teach the girls how to be in a healthy relationship. We also want to teach the boys how to become healthy men in relationships, because that's where we need to start. I feel like that's where we need to start focusing more of our energy on, is that it's not just about the
Yeah,
women,
I
it's
agree.
about how are we going to teach these men to shift their energies as well, because there's always what makes them that way, right? So if we can break those generational traumas and cycles, we're doing it for both, not just the women, but for the men.
Mm. Leah, tell us more about your work, and we're we're really intrigued because Madge has mentioned how powerful a change is possible. And what has what has brought you to do this work, and what is it?
Thank you, Dina and Madge, for such a beautiful introduction. I don't know if I have much to add after that, but I will see what we can come in just from a more technical perspective of the support that I offer the society and why we were such a beautiful collaboration. When Madge and I met, it just made sense. And the reason being, I focus on the root cause of trauma parked in the body. So when someone has gone through, and it might even just be one incident, it could be multiple years of incident, our issues are parked in our tissues. Our body holds our story. And so people come to me with, whatever their story may be. They could have anxiety, IBS, they can't sleep at night. Maybe it's physical issues. I know we had one client where her left arm, she had tennis elbow, she could barely move her left arm. She was in extreme pain constantly. So this is physical ailments all the way to mental, emotional, whatever it might be. And my job is that I meet with somebody and I feel their story, their energy, and I find the root cause of where that trauma initially got parked in their system. And then what is it that made it grow or helped it grow? And when we can find the root of something, we can address a root, we pull out a whole bush. And so a lot of different styles of healing just address the symptoms or the exterior, and we can't really quite get to that root cause. Madge is determined that the people that she meets don't have to repeat this cycle. And so, with what I do, when we're healing the root of a trauma, when we're healing the root of a story, we're getting down into the nitty gritty of what actually makes up a person. What are the patterns that you run every day when you wake up? Do you run the pattern of, I am abused and I have to live in fear and I'm scared? Or that, I am empowered, I am strong, I am capable? Whatever our root program is, that will produce the output for everything in our life. How our children will interact with us, how we'll show up at our job, the kind of relationships that we're going to attract. And so when her and I met, she said, what do we do to make sure that these women don't ever end up in this situation again? I don't want to rescue them and then get a call again in 2 years, they're in the same spot. What do we do to make sure that this change is permanent and it's lasting and that they don't loop? And I firmly believe that the way to do that is to generationally affect change. So heal the mothers, heal the children, heal those that come after us. And then now, when we can heal an entire family unit and we can have that ripple effect out into the community, I believe that now we don't get those repeat phone calls. We have women that are healed and strong and they're ready to move on to a whole new chapter of life, but also their children are looking at them and seeing that mom is a whole different person than she used to be. And we're granting permission. That's what we're doing, is we're granting permission to change your story for what is right for you and what is your authentic truth, and not what somebody else wrote in your book. And so if there's a page in that book, that story that doesn't belong to you, I show my clients how to remove that, how to pick up their own pen and how to write their own story, and how to never have to repeat a cycle again that doesn't belong to you.
it's so liberating and freeing. We also though want to emphasize, I know you both, I can speak for you both, in that
Yeah,
we do not use judgment, it's curiosity, it's compassion. So
absolutely.
we also understand that it's very common for people to go back. This healing process isn't going to happen instantly. No judgment for anyone who
Yes.
does go back, and it's difficult. It's very complex, and leaving can be very difficult. But there are people like Madge and Leah that are out there to help support you and walk you along and help you stay out. And there's many uh, type of service providers that can even help you move and store your items, or um, work through the trauma like Leah does. Could you share, because I want to make this very positive and hopeful too, share some success stories, share some incredible moments that you've seen happen and that is just so fulfilling and rewarding in the work that you do.
I'm going to share a couple actually that come to the top of my head. And actually, I get emotional when I talk about this stuff because it's just so, it fills my heart to know that these women are thriving and they're not just surviving. It's no more just fight or flight anymore. It's
Right.
they're actually thriving in society. And um, I want to talk about a particular individual that had come to me as a referral. And she was so broken and did not even realize that she was in an abusive relationship. But when she came to me, again, there was that statement as I don't know how I didn't see this for so many years. I was in it for so many years. And she's like, and I'm so ashamed and I can't believe she's like, I can't believe how stupid I felt. I'm like, but this is not about any of that. It's about the fact that you're seeing it now and you realize that you need to change the situation you're in for you and your children. And that was the first step. And so, we went through the all the questions and I let her just tell her story. And I said, okay, so, I connected with Leah and I said, I have a client. So you do the screening and you kind of assess where they're at. And then when Leah starts working with them, she will assess like how many sessions does she think they need, right? Based on the trauma. And she was not employed at the time. Very, very smart woman, very smart woman. That woman, the level of emotional intelligence she has was mind blowing to me. And she is currently working an amazing job. She was living in a basement suite, and now she's just moved into another place where it's great for her and her children. And she is just thriving. She's just thriving, and she took the reins by the horn, and she just catapulted right into the universe again, and just I love watching her Instagram stories and seeing how well she's doing. And, I connected with her last week and just hearing how well she's doing and that she actually looks forward to getting up every day and not feeling like she had to stay in bed. Right. And that's very common. A lot of women get depressed and they don't have the energy anymore. So it was really, really gratifying in knowing the difference that we've made together in helping this woman pick up the pieces and start putting them back together. And then one day, Leah and I were at the women's show, and this was really interesting. And this is why I believe that, you know, when you're in the right place at the right time and you have the right energy, everything just unfolds beautifully.
Mhm.
There was a girl there and beautiful, beautiful girl. And both Leah and I kind of felt her energy and we just kind of started chatting. And this is the woman that Leah was referring to in terms of she couldn't move her arm, her elbow. And we started chatting and she started talking about how she was in an abusive relationship. I'm going to let Leah finish this story because it's so beautiful to see where she's at right now. But I'm going to let you chime in on this one, Leah.
I'm sitting here with tears in my eyes, and thank you, ladies, for creating a space where we can share this because the work that we do is very emotional, and
Yeah.
there is a lot. There's a lot to these stories and these spaces that we hold. And so, yeah, when we met this lady, she just had this beautiful energy about her, and we were chatting with her, and Madge said, I need to give her my card. There's something about her. She needs help. There's something going on here. And we gave her the card and suggested that she reach out. And she kind of made some comments about maybe not being able to afford it or not quite sure if she was comfortable with it. And Madge said, hey, this is on me. I'm here to help you. And if and when you're ready, I want you to just reach out. She reached out that day when we left, and she wasn't in front of her friends and she wasn't in front of anyone else who could see her. She reached out that day and she asked for help and she told us her story. And she had been abused so badly, she actually left the province that she lived in to relocate to a different province just so she could feel safe and not feel like she was going to be attacked or living under threat anymore. And so when we met her, she had only been living in Calgary for a few years, and she had been just doing whatever she could to put her life back together again. And I've been working with her for the last few months. She can move her arm. She doesn't live in pain every day. She has is moving back to the province that she lived in to go be with her family and her friends because she feels safe being back in her home and her around her family. She is a completely different energy when you speak to her. She's strong, she's confident. She's telling everyone, you need to do this, you need to reach out. She says, I have a friend and I don't think she's in a safe relationship. And so, one of the things I got from that story as well was once she was strong enough to share her own story and connect, she started looking around to her friends and saying, hey, that's not safe. Hey, that's not okay. And she's now giving voice to these women that she loves, where she's saying, there's places you can go, there's help you can get. I didn't know it was there. And now we have this advocate out there saying, hey, you can heal, you can have this peace in your life like I do. And so to hear that ripple effect in such a short period of time, I mean, that was only, I don't even know how many months ago it was that we met her. And to watch the growth and the change and the excitement she has for life. I mean, to move provinces, to be willing to be on your own because you're so scared, to be able to go back to your home and your family and your roots. She says, I don't care. I don't care if I run into him. I don't care if I see him. I know exactly how I'm going to handle it. She's not scared anymore. She says, I can turn around and walk away. I don't have to have that be my story anymore. So I love the fact that she's already back there saying to her friend, hey, maybe this isn't the best environment for you to be in. And she's calling me and saying, what can we do for these people? How can we help my friends? And she's already, so for me, it's the connection, it's the safe space to tell these stories and to have your voice be heard and to know there's women behind you that are going to lock arms and say, we've got your back. Like you said, Dina, help you move. We can help you find a safe place to go. We can help women that can just be there to listen. It's that for me. It's the full netting that we're creating, where it's this whole system that we're here to catch you and hold you. So, yeah, she's dear to my heart. I absolutely love working with her. But there's just so many. There's so many beautiful stories and so many beautiful women that, um, yeah, I'm so glad that Madge has started what she did here because she works tirelessly at this and it's changing lives. Absolutely.
I
And
had a
we will
client
have,
message.
I
Sorry.
was just going to say, we will have all of this contact information in the show notes so people can share that, easily access it. Go ahead, Madge, you have another story.
I had another client actually contact me and say, I just want you to know how grateful I am for all that you've done for us. And she said, my daughter came up to me and said, Mom, you look so happy. And that's what it's about.
Yeah.
Yeah, supporting people through that difficult transition, helping them find themselves, find that happiness. And when their children experience that,
Yeah.
they see the results of it. Can you tell us, Madge, more specifically, what does Women on Wings Society do to support people?
So we do quite a few things. Most of our clients no, all of our clients have been referrals.
Mhm.
And the first thing we do is assess what help they need, what assistance they need, what resources they need. Um, And then once we determine that, whether it's through Leah, we also have collaborated with Dawn Shandley, who is a divorce coach, which you've also had on your program. Um, she in conjunction with Leah, that they are being helped with by Dawn to help navigate through the court system because we all know how brutal that could be
Mm-hmm.
and how costly that could be. So Dawn helps them navigate through that in a way where it helps them reduce their costs, but also gives them the confidence and empowers them to be able to walk into a courtroom feeling safe. Um, and then we do weekly food hampers for all our clients, anybody who needs it. We provide emergency financial assistance when it's needed. We also, oh, sorry, I got really emotional on that last story
Oh.
there. We're also looking at collaborating with Resolve Legal Group to see how we can work with them as well, to see how they can assist our clients through the court system. I think that's one of the biggest things that a lot of women do not leave because they don't know how to get out.
Mm-hmm.
They don't know how they're going to be able to afford it, right? Because the financial abuse is a real huge issue with these situations. And yeah, so between Leah, Dawn, we provide food hampers, financial assistance. At Christmas, we do an annual Christmas drive where we sponsor a lot of women that need assistance through Christmas. We make sure all our clients have for their children Christmas gifts. We make sure that the moms or even the dads, they get a gift. They get a full turkey meal, so they don't have to worry about that. And then we provide them with grocery gift cards as well to make sure that they can sustain the 2 weeks that their children are home during Christmas. And it's just, yeah. And I'm sure that there's a lot of other things that we do. There's just so much that we do, and it just it makes you feel good knowing that we can be part of that change. And through that, you have the community, you have the connection, you have the ability to be able to reach out to resources and come together, right? Like with you, Dina. I mean, having you as a huge advocate for women leaving domestic violence is it's huge what you put out there. So it's coming together as a community to make sure that these women and these children know that they have a voice and that they're being seen and that they're being heard and they have the opportunity to change their lives, that they don't need to be stuck in a situation.
It's so exciting to know that it's becoming more mainstream. You
Yeah.
can bring this up, and there's gradually less stigma around it because I think there's confidence as the more you speak up about it, the more confident you are. And I would really encourage people to get familiar with some of the statistics, some of the information that's out there. And I think as they realize the high prevalence of this, they will feel more empowered to speak up and more inspired to speak up because it's 1 in 3 women, 1 in 4 men. It is an epidemic. It is Alberta is the third highest province. Red Deer is the highest per capita in Canada for incidents, and this is just statistics based on what's reported. So
Exactly.
you know that it's much higher than that. Now, when you talk about referrals, Madge, can you describe what that referral process looks like for anyone listening who says, "Oh, I know someone who needs it," or "I don't know if it's abuse," and what's that referral look like?
So when I get a referral, I want to make sure that the client is comfortable to reach out or have us reach out to them. They have to be ready. They have to be ready. And so once we get the go ahead that we can reach out to the client or they reach out to us, we do the whole screening process. What are their needs? What are they in? Is it a very dangerous situation? Is it something that we can help them get out of safely? Or maybe it's someone that has left but is dealing with the trauma. So we assess the situation. because each person's situation is unique and it's their own situation. So no one is ever the same. And then we look at what resources will they need, whether it's through us or through other organizations, other nonprofits that can help assist them as well. Because there are a lot of amazing nonprofits out there that do things differently than we do. So,
Hmm.
I think we need to all work together. It's not one nonprofit does this and one nonprofit does that. We need to all work together as a community, and make sure that we're providing them with the resources that they need. So if we assess that, okay, this situation is a really bad situation, where they need financial assistance, help looking for home, somewhere to live, help with the legal system, help with an EPO, help, connecting them to
Hmm.
Leah. Every situation is different, so every situation will be dealt with based on the circumstances that they're leaving and facing.
Can I,
So
s-
take
can I
me, oh,
this
sorry,
out?
Leah. I just want to
Sorry.
get Madge to go back and take me right from if I'm concerned for myself or I'm concerned for a friend.
Yeah.
How does that referral even happen in the first place? Do I just contact you and
You
say,
just contact,
okay,
either email us
okay.
off of the website or contact us directly, which is our email is on both our website and also on our social media pages.
Hmm.
Um,
And we'll
we
link
are here.
those. Yeah.
Yeah, we are here to help. We have two big fundraisers a year, and those fundraisers are what help pay for these resources that we provide.
Hmm.
We have our upcoming Masquerade Gala on October 26th, and it is a huge one that we have, and you don't want to miss it if you can make it. But that's how we are providing the services to these women. We encourage anybody um, to connect with us. And if we can help them, we will provide the resources that will help them.
Amazing. Thank you. Go ahead, Leah.
Thank you. I wanted to just add, when it comes to referrals, um, sometimes we've had people reach out and they're concerned because their friend is in a situation where they believe that they're being abused. And like Madge said, sometimes they're not ready. And so sometimes our support looks like supporting the friend who's calling in and saying, I'm worried about my friend and she's being abused and I don't know what I can do and how do I help her? And it
Yes.
takes me back to your hummingbird story, Deanna, where we can help teach these women how to hold a space for their friend so that when she is ready, she can come forward and know that there is something there. And so I do a free discovery call through Women on Wings where people can reach out to me and just chat. There's no fee for it, but it's just a chance to say, am I crazy? Am I off base here? Is this right? And just to connect and be heard and say, here's how you can support your friend. Here's how you can maybe create some safe dialogue so that when she is ready, she can reach out to you and make that phone call. And this doesn't always happen overnight. Sometimes it's a referral that we won't hear from again for 6 months before
Right.
that woman's ready to say, actually, I am ready now. But sometimes the most important thing we can do here is just give somebody that glimmer of hope that there is something when you're ready that you can reach out to. And maybe it's not today, maybe it's 3 months from now, a year from now, 2 years from now. We don't know your timeline, but when you are ready, please know we are here. And so sometimes the support is actually to their support system. I've worked with friends of people that have come to me and said, I can't witness this anymore. I don't know how to help her. What do I do? And we hold the hummingbird and help them when they're ready to fly. And so Madge has held great space for people that have come to her, and I've watched. She sent them to me with a referral saying, "I got this person's contact information. We're going to reach out to them," and they're just not ready. And it's months down the road, and I'll get a phone call or a text message and say, "Hey, are you still there?" And just knowing,
We just
yes.
had that happen, actually. We just had that happen with one of our clients, and she went through a very devastating situation, very, very traumatic. And she did reach out to Leah 6 months
A year
ago,
later, yeah,
and here she is. She contacted her last week, or was it this week? She contacted you, and she had a session with her, and she's blown away. But she wasn't ready.
she wasn't
She
ready.
wasn't ready at the time that we had referred her. She's ready now, right? So everybody has, there is no magic wand. Um, I'd like to think there is, but there isn't. And so it's all about the person's timing. And one of the things I will ask the client is, are you ready to do this? And if they're not, it's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay. We're still here. We're not going anywhere. And when they are ready, they know that there is a safe space to go to and that we can hold space for them without them feeling ashamed or because there are women that will take 7, 8, 10 times before they decide they're ready to leave,
Mhm.
let alone heal.
And
So,
please call me every single time. Call me
exactly.
the first time, the second time, the 11th time. It doesn't matter. It's not about that. It's about when things click, it will click. And when your healing gets to a certain place and you're ready, the support system is there for you. And if it takes 3, 4, 5, 6 times, that doesn't matter. I like what you said, Dina, about how this is not a place of judgment and it is not about right or wrong. And it's not about the why. It's just about how do we get you to a safe and healthy and healed place now?
Yeah.
I love the community that is so aligned with that. And oh, what a beautiful service to offer and like just wrapped in love to support the supporters because it's very difficult to witness and feel helpless. And I've encountered people that have said, I don't know how to help someone. And
Yes.
so I carry, business cards or a post-it note or a pen or something like that from organizations that can help. So hopefully, that seems innocent enough to have that type of a contact in your possession and it hopefully won't jeopardize anyone's safety and they then have some power. Okay, oh, there's somewhere I could send them, or at least they could talk to someone. And now I want, Leah, you referred to my hummingbird story, so I'll briefly summarize for the listeners that I shared at the High Tea fundraiser for Women on Wings in May, which I encourage everybody to go to as well as to the gala. These are not only are these so much fun, but you're going to be surrounded by this community that we're talking about who really truly care and are there to make a difference. But I was in Mexico in March and at my friend's house, and a hummingbird had gotten into the house, and it was up in the high ceiling, and we could not coax it out, and it was just like banging itself against the glass, and it would stop exhausted, and it was really difficult to witness. We were right there. We wanted to help it. We tried all the things, and we just had to wait till it was ready. And we finally found it completely exhausted, still alive. It couldn't fly away from us at that point, and just carried it outside and helped it, regain its strength with a little bit of sugar water and making sure no dogs or cats were around. And yeah, one of its family members or its mate or something like that came and just kept flying back and forth until it revived and it gradually was coaxed back to life, but or not to life, but to freedom. And as I was flying home and preparing for that presentation, I thought, wow,
Yeah.
that is exactly how it can feel. You
Yeah.
you you just feel so helpless watching, but you do need to wait and with zero judgment, just okay, I can help you now and I know what to do. And so I really encourage people to
There was not a dry eye in that room when you told that story. It was so heartfelt. Um, I can't thank you enough for sharing that story. I wish I had recorded it.
Yeah.
Because I think so many people need to hear that story that when you're ready to spread your wings and fly, you'll be able to.
yeah. I actually did record it. I was part of an online summit and I used that story as part of that presentation.
You need to share it.
I should post it as an episode. Hummingbirds and
You really should.
hangovers, because hangovers was the other part of it
Hmm.
around, when people do talk to you, there's a vulnerability hangover, which is a real thing. And sometimes after they've shared, it can feel really awkward. And that's what that vulnerability hangover it is. They've been very vulnerable. Now that they feel awkward thinking you're judging them. So just be aware that that can happen in these situations. So those support people know that just give them some space and let them know, hey, I really appreciate you sharing that with me. I know that probably wasn't easy. Zero judgment. We can talk about it anytime you want, but in the meantime, back to normal, like just let's have fun or back to normal or whatever. Just acknowledge that you realize they might be feeling that way and that you're fine with that and you're there if they ever want to talk about it again.
Bingo.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you, ladies, for the work that you do. We will come back on again sometime. We're going to have Dawn Shandley join us as who is also part of your team. And Madge, thank you
Yes.
for sharing how she serves the people that you are working with. It's just such a pleasure to collaborate with such heart-centered people like yourselves. And thank you from
Thank
all of
you.
those who can't speak for themselves until they're safe to do so, for being there when they're ready.
Thank you for
Thank you,
helping.
Dina. Thank you for you. Thank you for all you do for being
Yeah.
such a huge advocate for women in these situations.
Yeah. Thank you.
It's a team effort.
Together we rise, right?
Yep.
Yes.
I hope you found that conversation insightful, encouraging, and also a reminder to all of us that what we see isn't always as it appears. People are going through a lot of things in their lives, and we would want that compassion shared to us. And that is something that we can offer to others without judgment. Instead, be curious and reach out, reach in, figure out a way that you can make someone's day a little better. And it might just start with a smile. I thank you very much for spending your time with me here today and encourage you to please subscribe to the podcast, follow us on social media, check out our events. We have lots of ways that we can help you or someone that you love. Share this with a friend if there's someone that you know could benefit from this. And hey, keep smiling that beautiful smile because the world really does need your sunshine. It means a lot that you spend this time with us and meet our experts and professionals who can help you through whatever life changes you're facing. Please refer to our terms of service available on our website, lifechangesmag.com. The link is in the show notes. Our disclaimer: Divorce Magazine Canada, Life Changes Magazine and channel, and divorce resource groups are intended to educate and provide quality, credible resource information. The contents should not be used as factual until consultation with the appropriate professionals for any guidance. Divorce Magazine Canada, Life Changes Magazine, and Life Changes Channel, as well as the divorce resource groups, do not constitute endorsements for, nor liability for any claims made in the presenting of this information.